The new Toyota Crown Signia is a game changer for Toyota because it blends two of the strongest things on the car market: a Toyota reputation and a Lexus interior. Think about it. For years, Toyota's been known for affordable reliability on the new car market. And for years, Lexus has been known for high-quality, pleasantly styled interiors. The Crown Signia is the perfect combo. I just don't think people know that yet.
This is the 2025 Toyota Crown Signia, a vaguely wagon-shaped crossover that is the most underrated new Toyota. And I'm Alanis King. Let's go for a drive and stick around for the end of this video to get this Crown Signia's full report card. The 2025 Crown Signia is part of a new era for Toyota. Gone are the Avalon sedans and Venza SUVs, and in their place is one name: Crown. Crown is Toyota's longest-running nameplate worldwide at about 70 years old. But to Americans, it's new. And Crown is also not a singular nameplate in America. It is going to be a family of vehicles. Just like the Mustang is now not just a sports and muscle car, it is also an electric SUV. First came the regular Crown. That replaced the Avalon. Then came the Crown Signia to take the place of the Venza. In the Crown family, Signia means SUV, and I looked to see if it had any cool language meaning, but apparently it doesn't. It's just derived from the word insignia, which I don't really know how you get SUV from that. But anyway, the Crown Signia is the first SUV in the Crown family, and it has a hybrid-only powertrain. Toyota describes it as having a long, sweeping roofline, and this was enough to make some people at the launch event ask, is this a wagon? I think wagon is optimistic. I want it to be lower, I want it to be brown, and I want it to be manual. But I do like the look of this car. At the launch event for this car, Toyota said the Crown Signia would only have two trims, and that is correct. It only has two trims currently. The XLE, which starts at $44,000 American dollars, and the Limited, which starts at $49,000 American dollars. Toyota said this limited trim option availability and the higher price point makes it to where you have fewer spec options for this vehicle. So you have more things that come as standard, and people aren't speccing little things here and there that they have to have. The car is just probably going to have it. That means, on a positive side, that people are going to be able to drive cars off the lot faster, which is good for them and good for Toyota because Toyota has fewer cars sitting around. On the negative side, that means people have less customization. This car only has 5 exterior paint colors: black, gray, white, bronze, and red, and 2 interior colors: black and brown. So you are not going to be special in this car, and if you're okay with that, it's a pretty good choice. But if you do care about looking cool and different, our partner Homefield Apparel has the coolest stuff. There are so many times when I'm at an event or a school or an institution that I like and I want to buy something, and I go into the merch store and it's all so boring. And then you look at what Homefield does and it is the coolest thing ever. Not only do they have Indy 500 apparel, they also have NASCAR apparel, college sports apparel, and even some pro sports apparel, all officially licensed. It's college football season. So if you want to look cooler than everyone else there, go to homefieldapparel.com. They support us and we absolutely love them. The 2025 Toyota Crown Signia makes 240 horsepower from a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine and a hybrid system. It has standard electronic on-demand all-wheel drive, and the power goes through an electronically controlled, continuously variable transmission. This is called an eCVT, but CVT is a misnomer because it does not work like a normal CVT. It's actually a lot cooler. The Toyota Crown Signia is a non-plug-in hybrid. This has positives and negatives. On the positive side, you get electric power without having to do any extra steps, such as plugging this car in. On the negative side, you don't get as much electric power. For example, on the 2025 Toyota RAV4 Prime, which does plug in, you get 42 miles of electric-only range. Whereas on this car, your electric range is limited to very specific situations, such as low-speed parking lot driving. If you were to accelerate a little bit more than you normally would in a parking lot, your gas engine is gonna kick on. Also, like the also hybrid-only Toyota Camry, you have that all-wheel drive system. You have a dedicated rear electric motor that can power those rear wheels when you need additional traction. This 2025 Toyota Crown Signia is a limited. The limited is the higher trim, and it starts at $48,490 American dollars. This specific one has a few options, like $345 illuminated door sills, $319 carpet floor mats and a carpet cargo mat, $160 mud guards, a $20 key glove, and an $1,865 advanced technology package, which includes a bunch of extra driver assistance features. After options and features, the total price of this specific Crown Signia is $52,149 American dollars. But like many other things in America in 2025, that price can easily change. So your mileage may vary. Before we drive the 2025 Toyota Crown Signia, it's time to ask the important question, which is, how many Atlantises can fit in this Crown Signia's trunk? Now, while I am getting in, I do want to tell you that I don't usually recommend options on vehicles. I usually don't recommend spending extra money. But this key is big and plasticky. And this $20 leather feel key glove actually makes the key look a lot better. So go ahead and get it. Ooh, let's scoot on in here. We took this car to the airport the other day, fit 2 full-size suitcases and 2 full-size backpacks back here with tons of extra room. And I'm gonna give this at least 3 Atlantises. It's huge back here. It's time to drive the 2025 Toyota Crown Signia. But before we get to driving impressions, I want to talk a little bit about the interior and the exterior of the car. We will start with the exterior. The 3 most striking parts of the exterior of this car, to me, are the long roofline, the grille, and the headlights. The long roofline makes this kind of wagon-like, and while I said earlier in the video that I thought it was optimistic to call this a wagon, I actually posted polls on social media and on every platform when I said, is the Crown Signia a wagon? Yes won over no. So obviously people really do think this looks like a wagon, even though I think it could be lower and it could be cooler. Y'all think it looks like a wagon, and I would have to agree, honestly. The next thing is the grille. We have had a trend for a long time, more than 10 years, of making the grills on the front of cars as big as possible. Lexus is one of those automakers who is guilty of that. But this car doesn't have that. This car actually has a body-colored front grille area, and it has these little diamond cutouts in it, right? It's not this big gaping black hole up there trying to look as sporty and intense as possible. It's a different look, and it makes the car look interesting, in my opinion. The third really striking thing about the exterior of this car is the headlight design. These designs follow Toyota's hammerhead appearance feature, which is the new front end for Toyota vehicles. And I'm not the biggest fan of the hammerhead design on every single vehicle. I like it as a concept, but on every vehicle it just doesn't quite look like it fits with the proportions and the other styling and stuff like that. It really fits on the Crown Signia. I think it looks great. I think it makes you do a double take on it, and it makes you go, huh, that is a stylish looking car. Now let's talk about the interior of this Toyota Crown Signia, and this, I believe, is where this car truly shines. Because if you've watched my videos before and you've seen me drive Toyotas, you have probably heard me say, wow, this interior has a lot of room for improvement. And that is because modern Toyota interiors just aren't great, honestly. They're very plasticky, they're very cheap looking, and I don't think they're particularly good or well styled in every vehicle. Let's just take, for example, the Toyota GR Corolla. Very cheap looking interior. The Toyota Tundra, decently styled, but very cheap looking interior. The Toyota Tacoma, same thing. The Toyota Prius, again, just not the best interior. And I think this is unfortunate. I think for a long time, Toyota has had this reputation for reliability and had this ability to sell cars in spite of not great interiors and not worth the money interiors, because of the fact that people will go, oh, that's a Toyota, it'll last forever, I will buy it. That has allowed Toyota to slip in interior quality. This interior is really good because this interior is a traditional Lexus interior, and it just looks really nice. Now, it's not super modern, right? We have very obvious vents, we have very obvious buttons and everything like that, but it's upscale. The materials are soft, it's comfortable in here, and I don't look around and go, $52,000 for this? It looks $52,000. This interior, like a traditional Lexus interior, is pleasant but very conservative. It doesn't look super futuristic or wild like a Hyundai interior or a Kia interior, but that's okay. And I think the color scheme in this particular Crown Signia, this brown and black scheme, makes it look more interesting because my eye is looking around and looking at all the different colors, even if it's not the most wild styling in the world. We also have nice touches like a panoramic roof that makes it feel lighter and more spacious in here. But we have some not so great things, like this piano black in the center console. Why is this here? Piano black gets so scratched up, it gets so disgusting, and this is in a high touch, high use area, so it doesn't really make sense to me. Another thing that is not so great is the buttons underneath the infotainment screen. They are very, very plastic, and I've also noticed that they kind of stick together on this car. So when I went from seat coolers to seat heaters, because I got cold, I went from having the seat coolers on and I pressed the seat heaters and it didn't do anything. It just kept the seat coolers on and off. I think because the buttons were sticking together and putting the inputs on the seat coolers instead. A really understated thing I like about this interior is the fact that the accents are not silver or anything like that. They are bronze. The audio tuner is bronze. You have bronze accents on the dashboard. You have bronze accents on the door. It looks really cool and upscale. And I'm actually surprised more automakers aren't doing bronze because it looks super nice. And in terms of rear seat comfort, there is a decent amount of it. You have USB-C charging ports back there. You also have seat heaters back there, although the seat heaters are probably not super strong, just like they're not super strong up here. But the back seat does not have its own climate controls. Up front, I have a wireless Apple CarPlay and a 12.3-inch infotainment screen, but something I don't love about the up front view is the fact that my driver instrument cluster and my infotainment screen are different kinds of screens. My driver instrument cluster is this dull screen, and then my infotainment screen is really shiny and vivid, and they just don't really match up super well, so it almost looks like they're mismatched, and I don't love it. The last thing I will note about interior comfort may just be a me thing, and it is the fact that I don't feel like the fans go low enough. The difference between 0 fan speed and 1 fan speed is huge because 0, nothing comes out. 1, way too much comes out, to the point that I really went from the seat coolers to the seat heaters because I got too cold on the bottom setting. I really like when there is airflow in a car, but it's not just like, right? It makes you feel like there's air in the car, but it's not just actively blowing on you and changing your temperature. Sometimes I'm just happy with the temperature that's in here and I want a little bit of airflow, and you can't get that in this car. Now let's talk about how the Toyota Crown Signia drives. And I will say that it drives like a commuter car. It drives like a nice commuter car, but still a commuter car. There's not a ton of wind noise at high speeds, but road noise is a different story. If you're on a smooth road, you're totally fine. If you're on a rough road, it's gonna be kind of loud in here to the point that it's hard to cover it on a normal radio setting. And also you have engine droning. So you're going around the parking lot, right? You're in electric mode and it feels so nice and silent. And then you hit the gas and it just goes, and it doesn't feel as nice as the interior feels, so it feels like a mismatch. The most important part about this vehicle is the hybrid system, and I generally like this hybrid system quite a lot. The EPA estimates that it gets 37 miles per gallon on the highway, 39 in the city, and 38 combined, and that it has a range of 551 miles. Now, I will say when I got in this car and it was filled up, it only showed a range of about 400 miles, so not anywhere close to the EPA estimation, but honestly, I think it would just depend on where you're driving it and what you're doing with it. Ideally, I would hope that if I own this car, that range estimation was bigger sometimes. But I do really like hybrids. I think they are great for introducing people to electrification, especially non-plug-in hybrids like this vehicle, because you get the benefit of having electrification without having to do anything extra. And that, to me, bridges the gap between a normal car buyer who's only bought gas cars throughout their life and someone who is okay with electrification. Because you have to get people over the hurdle of, oh, A hybrid? What do you mean? What do I do with a hybrid? To then get them more used to the idea of plugging one in or getting an electric car in the future. And to have hybrid-only vehicles like the Camry and the Crown Signia gets us closer to that goal, and I think that is a great goal to get closer to. The Toyota Crown Signia does a lot of things right. It looks good, it feels good to drive, and it has a really nice interior, which is something that I beg Toyota for all the time. And I think that makes it the most underrated new Toyota on the market. I really don't see Crown Signias on the road where I live in Texas. I don't see them at all. I see this one because I am driving it, and I don't hear people talk about them very much. Maybe that's because it's a new nameplate. I'm not sure. But the fact that you can get a Lexus interior in a $52,000 hybrid Toyota crossover is really freaking cool. Is this the most exciting car in the world? No, it is not. But is it really, really good at what it does? Yes, it is. And I think that's enough. Now that we've driven the 2025 Toyota Crown Signia, it's time to give it a grade. Welcome to Alanis's report card. The exterior on this car gets an A-. I like the way it looks. It's different. It's kind of wagony, but I do wish it was a little lower and a little more brown. Maybe that's a me problem. The interior also gets an A-. This has a traditional Lexus interior, which is great, especially for a Toyota product, because they usually don't have the best interiors. But that also means it's not the most modern, and it has quite a bit of piano black. The performance on this car gets a B. I really like driving it, but it does have a lot of road noise on rougher roads, and it just kind of takes away from the luxury experience. The value gets a B+. $52,000 is a lot of money for a car, but also it is a hybrid, really nice interior Toyota that is the price of the average new car. Would I take the Crown Signia on a road trip? Yes, I would, and it would be very comfortable, as long as the roads weren't too rough. And overall, this car gets a B+. I think if it had a lower price and just a little bit less road noise, we would be in such good shape.
The Toyota Crown Signia is really, really good. It has beautiful styling. It's a hybrid. It's right on par with the average price of a new car in America. It has a Lexus interior with a Toyota price tag, which alleviates the complaints I have about most other modern Toyotas.
The only major downside of purchasing a Toyota Crown Signia is the limited customization ability. But if you ask Toyota, and probably a lot of Crown Signia buyers, that's not enough to hurt its chances on the market.